The film begins with a mysterious figure named Muli, worshipped by villagers. Lin, a young boy, hides a special bottle inside a secret book box. As the lights flicker and darkness engulfs the space, he senses a presence outside, possibly Muli's. Spirit Bagas, while praying, experiences a terrifying vision of Muli's severed head. After finishing his prayer, he realizes he had been praying in the wrong direction. Shocked, he shares his experience with Ayunan and Kak, who reveal that no one has prayed in the village for years. They suspect the village has been overtaken by dark forces. Rin, while cutting her nails, accidentally injures herself. Ayunan, acting strangely, tells her to trust him. Meanwhile, Bagas witnesses a doppelganger of Ayunan. When Rin checks her camera footage, she sees she was talking to herself the whole time, proving the Ayunan she spoke to was an evil entity. Terrified, they decide to leave the village, but Ayunan insists on staying to follow his father's path. Little boy, Rahmat, living with Ayunan's third mother, senses something sinister. That night, Rahmat tells his mother, Muli is walking inside the house. She sees Muli's feet moving and wakes up from a nightmare. Later, Ayunan takes Rin to a secret place and reveals that she is Muli's daughter, branding her with a hot metal rod. She has horrific visions of a demon licking her wounds. Meanwhile, Rahmat hears Muli's voice on the radio and sees Ayunan leading villagers in a trance, just like Muli once did. Rahmat warns Bagas that Ayunan is being possessed. To stop it, he urges Bagas to recite the Adhan, call to prayer. When Bagas does so, the villagers writhe in pain, bleeding from their noses and mouths, including Ayunan. However, as Bagas continues, his own throat starts bleeding, forcing him to stop. Realizing the true evil at play, they decide to pray. At the mosque, as they finish praying, a possessed Ayunan attacks Rahmat. Her mother intervenes, saving him. Afterward, the villagers accuse Bagas and his friends of disrespecting traditions and demand they leave. During the argument, Ayunan learns that his father, Muli, was not a good man, and Rahmat is actually the son of Muli's second wife, whose body was never found. Rahmat also reveals that Muli's healed followers lost the ability to pray. Rahmat leads Bagas and Rin to a hidden basement, where they discover a key opening a secret chamber. Inside, they find a photo of Muli clutching prayer beads. When Rin records it, a spectral figure appears and lunges at her. They barely escape as dark hands try to pull them into the abyss. Meanwhile, Ayunan, fully possessed, leads the villagers in worship. Her mother realizes things have worsened. As Ayunan miraculously heals people, Bagas arrives and tries to break her trance, but she pushes him away violently. Ayunan starts reliving Muli's past, witnessing the horrifying truth. Muli's dark magic required sacrifices. Every wife he had was doomed to die. Lin then discovers Muli's dead body, his head rolling off when touched. The story also follows Ayana, a huge admirer of Muli, who, along with Rin, imitates his exorcism rituals. Their friend Bagus warns them to rely on prayer instead. Later, Ayana sees Muli on TV healing a child and dismisses her teacher's warning against blindly following him. Meanwhile, a desperate man seeks Muli's help for wealth. Muli performs a ritual, miraculously healing his wound and rewarding him with money, but demands a sacrifice in return. One night, Ayana has a vision of Muli slitting his throat. She collapses, and later she learns that Muli has actually died. Her guardian reveals that Muli was her real father, shocking her. Determined to understand her origins, she attends Muli's funeral with Rin and Bagus. Lin, recognizing her, allows her to bathe Muli's corpse, during which blood seeps from his stitched throat. She later meets Ayzan, Muli's third wife, who urges them to leave the village immediately. Ayana is taken to a sacred place where she must follow Muli's path. Meanwhile, Bagus, at the mosque, attempts to recite the Adhan, but is stopped by Lin, who warns that the village does not follow traditional prayers. As the story unfolds, Ayunan's possession intensifies. She experiences her father's sinister past, witnessing how Muli's rituals required sacrifices, particularly his wives. The film concludes with the revelation that Muli's dark magic and its legacy continue through Ayunan, leaving the characters in a desperate struggle against the lingering evil.